Whenever we talk about poisonous substances and things to avoid, we rarely mention food. Well, there are countless food items such as fruit and fish that can be deadly. In this video, we explore some of the deadliest foods from nature. Some of these are quite unexpected, considering they're a staple food in many cultures. If you're curious about which foods can be lethal, make sure you watch this video until the end. Kicking off this video with a seemingly harmless fruit until you eat its seeds. Cherries are a delicious fruit we all know and love, and most of us have grown up with them. There is cherry flavor just about everything today, from soda to ice cream. But beneath the flesh of a cherry is an extremely lethal pit or seed, and many of us probably remember swallowing them as a child because whole raw cherries can be purchased at many grocery stores, as is with the pits included. So, what's the culprit in cherry pits? Amygdalin, with its hydrogen cyanide potency. For such a lovable fruit, the availability of cyanide directly on the inside is pretty astonishing. You shouldn't just ingest cherries by swallowing them whole, regardless of what cartoons and video games may tell you. It's extremely dangerous. A man in Lancashire, UK, actually got cyanide poisoning by consuming a mere 3 cherry pits, which almost ended up killing him. Moving on, next we have the African bullfrog. Many might feel revolted at the thought of eating frogs, but you'll be shocked to learn that it's a delicacy in many countries. You can find them everywhere from France to places all over the American Southeast. While that's all well and good, there are some places in Africa where it's common to eat the African bullfrog, but they don't stop at the legs. Instead, they ingest the entire frog, and that's when eating these amphibians becomes dangerous to one's health. The consumption of the entire frog takes place throughout Africa, but is mostly done in the country of Namibia, where it is considered a delicacy called efuma. In the eastern Luangwa Valley, the Nsenga people eat the frogs they call Kanyama Kalie Fupum, which means the animal without bones. The African bullfrog's skin and other organs contain harmful toxins, which can lead to kidney failure and even death if ingested. Interestingly, a young frog that has yet to mate is far more lethal than older frogs, so it's important to avoid eating them before the mating season begins. The next food that can be deadly is actually a fruit, cashews. It's quite surprising that a seemingly harmless fruit can be fatal. Pretty much anyone without a nut allergy has eaten handfuls of cashews at one time or another in their lives. But that doesn't mean cashews can't be harmful. When you buy raw cashews, you're buying cooked nuts. The reason for this is that a raw cashew is not something you should ever put into your mouth. Raw cashews contain a chemical called urushiol, which is similar to the chemical found in plants like poison ivy and poison sumac. You wouldn't eat anything with poison in its name, and you definitely shouldn't eat raw cashews. If you do eat raw cashews, however, you'd likely experience painful irritation from ingesting them, but the danger is there. Fortunately, steaming raw cashews will remove the toxicity, which is how we can enjoy them en masse all over the world. The next food that shouldn't make it to your dinner table is mushrooms. Mushrooms are a delicacy that come in many shapes, forms, and sizes. Ranging from super cheap to ultra expensive, these little fungi are found in a multitude of dishes. Generally speaking, the fresher, the better. Because no one wants to eat a slimy and moldy mushroom, contaminated or stale mushrooms can be harmful to health, often resulting in slimy mold on the skin and getting infected with the bacteria botulinum. Botulinum is a neurotoxin that prevents the nervous system from reacting correctly. Also known as Botox, this toxin is often used in cosmetic procedures. While small doses and injections are not usually toxic, a large intake of improperly stored or canned mushrooms can lead to muscle paralysis and difficulty breathing. So, always choose your mushrooms wisely and avoid eating raw or unprocessed mushrooms. Moving on at 6, we have our first seafood dish, blood clams. You're always going to be taking a risk whenever you ingest a filter feeder like clams, but the dangers tend to skyrocket where blood clams are concerned. These delightful little buggers get their name from the large amounts of hemoglobin in their blood, which makes it a dark red. Other species of clams have clear blood, so the difference is rather striking. Despite looking like a small, bloody monster, blood clams are a delicacy in many parts of the Indo-Pacific region, where they are found. The concern with eating blood clams comes from the animal's remarkable ability to filter up to 40 liters of water each day. This is how the animal feeds itself, but it also ensures the clams will take in a wide range of bacteria and viruses, which aren't safe to eat in any situation. In areas where the water is particularly filthy, Blood clams harvested there can pass on hepatitis A, E, dysentery, and typhoid. In Shanghai in 1988, over 300,000 people became violently ill from eating them, and 31 people died. It is estimated that 15% of people who eat blood clams pick up one infection or another. Next on the list is another disgusting but well-loved food live octopus. This popular yet frightfully disturbing delicacy is called sannakji and is found in Korea. This is a small baby octopus that has recently been killed. If you think that a dead animal can't hurt you, you've never tried to eat sannakji. The tentacles continue to wriggle after death, and when they come into contact with sesame oil, they violently jerk about, making the dish look as if it were alive. It's fun to eat, but incredibly dangerous. The problem with eating parts of an octopus containing suckers has to do with the fact that those suction cups still work when the tentacles are twitching. Swallowing it is a challenge, and while some connoisseurs get off on the sensation of having their food crawl up the back of their throats, many people die when their airway is blocked by a struggling tentacle. It's estimated that as many as 6 people die every year from attempting to eat the delicacy, which makes it one of the deadliest items on this list. But speaking of deadly, next we have fugu, made from pufferfish. These adorable fish inflate and have spines all over their bodies. Those little aquatic balls of fun can kill you, should you order them off a menu somewhere. The Japanese art of preparing the meat of the pufferfish has long been a dangerous prospect for any sushi lover. Blowfish contain tetrodotoxin, which is a potent neurotoxin said to be 200 times deadlier to humans than cyanide. It is contained in the fish's reproductive organs, liver, and intestines. Normally, you wouldn't eat those parts of the fish, but that's where the danger in preparation comes into play. To serve fugu, a Japanese sushi chef must undergo a licensing and training process that takes 3 years. Anyone who orders fugu is made to understand just how deadly a slip of the chef's knife can be, and they really do put their lives in the hands of that chef. If a minute amount of the tetrodotoxin makes its way into the meat, there's little hope of surviving. First, you would feel numbness around the mouth, which would be quickly followed by paralysis, and ultimately death, which can occur in 20 minutes or as long as 24 hours later. Anyone dying from contaminated fugu will remain conscious through the whole affair, which makes the pufferfish one of the deadliest fish you can eat. And we cannot ignore and leave out one of the deadliest foods in the world: jellyfish, specifically Nomura's jellyfish or Echisen courage. This is a large species of jellyfish capable of growing up to 2 meters in length and weighing in at a whopping 200 kg. Though they aren't exactly prized in the fishing industry and are a dangerous invasive species, they are consumed in places like Japan, where it is considered a delicacy. Typically, jellyfish meat isn't toxic, so long as you don't eat the wrong parts, but that's where consuming Echisen courage becomes a dangerous food. Unlike blowfish, the concern isn't entirely about removing toxic parts. It's about cooking the meat properly. You cannot, under any circumstances, eat the meat of the Echisen courage raw. It must be cooked thoroughly, or you may find yourself ingesting toxic levels of the jellyfish's nematocyst venom. Typical envenomation can result in itching, swelling, pain, and inflammation. But that changes if you ingest it. Doing so can lead to a painful death. Despite the deadly nature of the Echisen courage, it can be prepared safely with proper training. There you have it. The deadliest foods nature serves us. Which among these have you tried or are interested in trying just for the thrill of it? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.